Okay, welcome to Learning Python. My name is Adere, and yeah, let's get started. So I hope everybody can hear me and everybody can see me. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, looks good. So yeah, let's get started. So last camp, I believe we discussed creating if-else statements. We also discussed there was one big thing. Oh yeah, I think it was creating loops, uh, for loops and while loops. I might be mixing it up, but yeah, we discussed a lot of good stuff yesterday, and we're gonna continue on from that. So let's see if my notes say it. So yeah, today we're gonna be doing an introduction to modular programming, and yes, we haven't discussed this at all really. But after learning basic stuff like this, we can add on to it to do more stuff. Remember, I was talking about last game, I think I was talking about randomizing things. So you can add some random components to our computer's response to what we say. But yeah, so what is modular programming? So modular programming is the practice of splitting up our code into different files and then importing that code so that we can use it for many different projects. Oh yeah, something else I want to mention is that today's probably gonna be a little bit of a shorter camp. Um, but yeah, because this is like our main focus. It's only one topic really. Uh, but yeah, so we'll still get the hang of that. So typically, code that you will be reusing goes into its own module, so you can simply import it from that module rather than copying and pasting. So we'll learn how to create our own modules today. But for actually creating modules and using it in a real project, you wouldn't be doing that unless if you had a really, really large project. What you'd probably be doing with most of your projects when you're starting off is using modules other people have created because they can be useful. So when you first install Python, it comes with some built-in modules. That's something to know. And another way to interpret a module, another way to think of it, could be a library, because it contains tons of books. And in this case, those books are like functions and things we can use on our code. So how can we get pi in Python? This is a good question. How can we use the symbol of pi, like 3 point whatever, in Python? So to do this, we would have to import the built-in math module. So math is a built-in module in Python that we can import. And the way we import any module in Python is with the keyword import, and we type in the name of that module. So if you're getting a module from somewhere else, you're downloading a module that's maybe from online, like Pygame for say, that's a module used for building games with Python. You have to download that first with an installer called pip, or there may be another installer you can use, but from what I know, the most installer people use is pip. And it's an installer that lets you download modules and be able to import it to your project. So yeah, the import keyword is used to import modules that are built into Python or that we've created or that we've gotten from the web. And then .py is the specific mathematical function we are calling within the math module in Python. So what I should actually do now is I should create a folder we can mess around and play with. So let me open up my Python IDE. So 1 second, please. I need to create a new file in there so we can use that as our test file. So let's create a new file. I'll drag this over here as well. By the way, I don't say this enough anymore during the camps, but if you have any questions throughout this entire thing, early stuff like this or stuff we talk about later in today's camp, be sure to ask them in chat and I'll answer them. So I already have my new file. So import is the keyword we use for importing the module. Once again, you're probably not only going to be using built-in functions, you also want to grab other modules. You also probably want to grab other modules from the web. So for example, Pygame is a really popular module used for building games in Python and displaying like GUIs. A GUI is a graphical user interface. What else? There are modules you would use for like doing machine learning or like AI and stuff like that. There's modules you'd be using for like building web scrapers, like Scrapey, another popular one's like Beautiful Soup. And there are pretty much a lot of modules for different things. So you'd most likely be using a lot of modules in your program. So anyways, we're importing the name of our module. In this case, the name of the module we're using is built in, so I don't need to download anything. It's called math, okay? So import math. So we usually put this at the top of our code, or we always put this at the very top of our code like this. And it knows, hey, we're importing this and we're grabbing this entire module so we can use functions from here now. So if we look back at, if we look back at the slides, we use .py. I was just trying to see which one we use exactly. I'm sorry. But yeah, so let's just print out, let's get pi to print on our screen. So I can say math.pi just like that. And let's save this. So I can just save to a location, just say desktop, save, call it something, I'll call it test, save, and then we can run this now. So I'm going to run this, and we see our output over here. So it prints out the first couple of digits of pi. I wish you can get it print out all of the digits or a lot more digits than this, but this is prints out the first couple of digits of pi. And yeah, hold on, just got a message. Make sure it's not outdated. Okay. So yeah, that's basically just an example. So another really popular module that we're going to be using in these next camps a lot is in random. So random's a module used for basically creating random things that are randomized. It has some really good stuff in it. So an example of one is randint. So what randint does is that you can make it look through like a certain number of integers. It looks in between there and it grabs a number. So for an example, I could say, let's think, I could go like this. So I'll create a list. I'll call this list cart. I'll put some items in the cart. And then the first item is going to be pear. Let me put a string around that. First item is going to be pear. Second is going to be apple. And then the third one's going to be orange. Like that. So I'm going to close off this list now. And then what I want to do is that I want to call on a random thing from this list. I want to call on one of these random values and I want to print out to the screen, okay? So maybe what it's going to print out is going to be U1A, and then it's going to print out whatever one of these strings are. So first off, we know that this is called on from 0. This is called off from like 1 and 2. That's how it counts the items in the list. So this is item 0, item 1, item 2. So what I can actually do is that if I go something like this, I can call on a specific index from something in the list. So what I can do is I can tell it to search from a number between 0 and 1 in here and randomize it to pick out one of the numbers. So I'm not sure if I explained that too well, but I'll just show you what it'll look like. So I'll say U1A, let's end that quotation. Let's do cart 0 like that. And then now what I have to do to actually call on something from my module, to call on a function, if you're not importing that like whole group of functions directly, first you have to type in the name of the module, so random. Then you type in a period, and then you call on a function from that module. So you see we actually get some options popping up over here, and what I'm using is randint. So I won't be teaching how to use entire modules because they have a lot of stuff in them. You can just look at this, but there's some stuff you can like learn how to do quickly online. Like if you're looking for a module, you just learn how you can use it to accomplish your task quickly, and then you can use it. So in this case, it's like this. So it even tells us how it works. So random.randit, this is what I'm calling on, and I'm going to pass something here. I'm going to pass, let's say 0, and then it's going to be 3. So in between here, I believe it will search. So let's try running this. Let me see what I actually have to do here. I think I have to make this a string, right? Let me make sure. So you want a cart is going to pull out a string. Okay, let's make sure. This might tell me to convert this to a string, but I think it won't. So let's run this. So we got U1 a pair. And the reason this is spaced out together, or the reason these are together, is because I don't have anything here. It's just adding it exactly. So we'll go like this. Save it. I'll run it again. And then now this time we got U1 and an apple. So you can already imagine just from doing something as simple as this, it already makes our program a lot more, a lot more like fruitful, I guess you could say. Like it has a lot more going on now because there's like now stuff is randomized and it's not always the same thing. So it makes our program, in my opinion, a lot more interesting and maybe even better just because we can do stuff like this now. So let's explain exactly what I did here a second time, since I don't think I did such a great job last time. So cart, I've just called it cart and I've created a list here. I've put in 3 items total. They're all strings. It's pear, apple, and orange, okay? So if you remember, something I did when we were talking about for loops was that we could, we could iterate through each item in this list, right? And it's just basically assigned numbers each item. For example, if normally, let's just copy and paste this and I'll print this out. Normally, if I wanted to call on an item on this list, I wanted to call on orange, I wanted to print orange from cart, I would have to do something like this. So I'm going to do like this, okay? So pretty much what's going on here is that it's going into cart and then it's pulling out item 2. And this is for orange. So you might be wondering, this is not item 2. I think I've actually explained this before, but I'm just re-explaining it so we can remember in case if we forgot. So the reason I'm doing this, the reason I'm saying 2 and not 3, because it looks like 1, 2, 3 is orange, right? Is because Python starts counting from 0. So this pair item, if I wanted to call on it, I'd have to call on item 0. So the first is 0, the second, or the first is 0, the second is 1, and then the third is 2. So that's how Python would count the items on this list. And that's why here I'm saying 2. So I can run this. Let me drag this aside actually so we can have this layout here. I don't need this right now. I'll go like this. So this is our IDE, or this is our shell, sorry, to the left, and this is our editor to the right. So I'm going to run this, save first, and then run. And we see our output here is orange, okay? And that's because I said print item 2. So what's going on here is that when I'm calling on a function from a module, in this case, this one's a function I'm calling out, and it's the randit function. What I'm doing here is that first I'm typing in the module name, and then I'm putting in a period, and then I'm putting in randint. So with randit, the values I pass for it, the arguments I pass for this function from the random module is this. What I pass is that I pass a start number from where it's going to start looking from. So it's going to go from 1 to comma. I put comma to separate it, and I can say to 30. So what this is going to do is that this is going to give me an integer from in between 1 and 30, pretty much. So yeah, this one's pretty simple. If I don't want to have to write random like this, there's something else we can do in Python, which looks like this. I can say from random import randint. So what I'm doing here is I'm not just importing the entire random module, I'm importing a specific thing, or a specific book, I guess we can call it, from there. So I'm importing just only this book right here. So instead of importing the entire library, I'm just going to go there and grab one book from it and leave, which is the book on randit. So what I can do now is that instead of having to write random, all I can write is randint, and it will be recognized. So make sure I'm not looking at comments. Yeah, I have no questions, but if you have questions, you can put them in chat. So yeah, let's try that now. I'm going to we're still going to keep cart here because remember, cart's taking the number. So what I did earlier was I put this inside it. So I went randint like this, and I passed a number here. So in this case, I'll just say, in this case, it still has to be 0 to 3 because we have 0 to 3 items here. So I'll say 0 to 2, really. So let's just test this to prove my point about how we can just import a specific book from the library or a specific function from the library like this. Let's run this. And we see it gave us pair this time. To actually make sure it's random, I'm going to run it again. And this time it gave us orange. This time it gave us apple. So we got all of them, luckily, on each try. So this randit thing here, it's basically holding one of these values between 0 and 2. And that's why I'm able to put it in cart, if that's clear. So is there a way I could do this without having to type in this number here? Can I make my program more dynamic so it knows how many it's going to do? Because right now, if I update this list and I have more items like this, if I go, let's say, dragon fruit, I don't know why I thought of dragon fruit, like this. If I save this now and I start running it, let's also close this again so we can have it open up. Let me put this here for now so I'll minimize that. So I'll run this, get my output here, drag it over here. First time we get orange when I run this, okay? I'm gonna run this again, I get orange again. Let's run this again, I get orange, run this again, I get apple. So I guess I was getting lucky with orange. Let's keep running it, apple, 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 apple. So pretty much we're on pair now, so we're on one of these last items. So we got all 3 so far. What I can promise you is that we'll never get dragon fruit to be one of our items. I'll keep running it. This is pretty much one of the only ways I think I can prove it to you, besides you just trusting my word. But yeah, we're never going to get dragon fruit here. And the reason that is because it's only doing this number between 0 and 2. So that means the highest number it can pull out is 2. And 2 on this list is equivalent to, hold on, I can't see my whole thing. Let's go like this. 2 on this list is equivalent to orange. So it can never go past 2. So if I keep adding more items to our list, or make it so the user gets to add items to the list they want to go through, what can I do to make this dynamic? And when I say dynamic, I kind of mean like it updates on its own, and the program's even just more smarter itself. It's more intelligent. So how can I do this? Well, the way I can do this is that I can get it to find the length of this list, right? If I can get the length of this list, I can make this my last argument in the randit function. And this is what that looks like. So down here, I'm going to say length. So this length function, I'm not sure. Actually, no, I think let me think. I'm not too sure if we covered this length function yet. But pretty much what this length function does is that it shows the length of something. So we're going to remove all of this for now. I'm just going to do the length of a string for showcase. So let's create a string. Let's just call it, let's make the user create the string. Let's go all the way from start, just to refresh us with some of the things we learned so far. So I named my variable this, I don't know why, it's just simple, fast to think of. So I'm just going to say a equals type, or the input function type here. Type here is just what's going to show up. And then after this now, sorry, this just came out. Okay, after this now, what I'm going to do is that, well, actually, that's already their input. We're pretty much going to almost that. What I'm going to do is I'm pretty much just going to print out the length of whatever string they typed in. So in this case, if we're doing the length of a string, it's going to show us how many characters are in that string. So it's going to look like this. So length, and then I'll say a. Or I can even be more fancy and I can say the length of your. Actually, let's start like this first, because we're gonna get an error if I don't tell us how to do one more thing. So let's just run this first, and I'll show you. So I'm gonna clear this again, and so we can have it brand new. We're gonna run this. So type here. I'm going to type in my name. I know how many letters that is. That's 5, and then it returns to us 5. So that's awesome, great. So what I want to do now is that I want it to combine it with this sentence. This is just like a simple showcase. So I want to combine this so it says the length of your name is blah, blah, blah. So to do that, I have to go something like this. I'd say, I said string, the length of your name is plus that. So right now, as it is, with this code, we'll get an error. And the reason we're going to get an error is because we're adding a string plus an integer, basically, because length saves this value of whatever the length is as an integer. And I'll run this just to prove it to you. Let's save and then let's run. I'll say adere. Then we get a thing like that. So what I want you to do, I know I'm not going to see it immediately, but what I want you to do, we're going to come back to this problem afterwards. We're just going to comment it out. But what I want you guys to do is tell me how we can fix this problem, basically, how I can make this not be read as a string. So we'll leave it like that for now. I want to see if you guys remember how to do that. So how can I get rid of this error, basically? So the error right now, I'm not going to read exactly what it says, but pretty much it's saying you can't add a string plus an integer because this is saved as an integer. So please write out what function I'd have to use to fix this. But anyways, let's continue on with what I wanted to do earlier. So let's just hashtag this out for now. That's what I'll do. Let's continue writing. So first of all, I want to import random because I'm still using it. And then let me go down here, and then let's continue. So what was the example I wanted to finish off earlier? Yeah, we were messing around with a list like this. So cart equals, this time I'll call them the same things, honestly, pair apple. Okay, yes, I got the response. Great, yeah, you would have to, I think you just made a typo or something. But yeah, you pretty much write in the same thing. We're going to use int, or not int, string because we want to transfer this to become a string as well. Hold on, let me just go full screen here. You guys can't see the entire thing. There, that's better. So yeah, for this example up here, we want to change A to a string, and we do that by converting with the string function. Nice, you remembered. You said int. I'm not sure. Maybe I only talked about int last camp, about how int like this, but there's also one for string as well, pretty much a converter, I guess we'll call it, which looks like this. And there's also one for float as well, which looks like this as well. But anyways, yeah, we're just converting to string, so then we can do a string plus string, right? And then if we were to run what we had previously, I'm going to comment out this new code I was writing. So if I save this and run it, oh, A is not defined. That's still commented out. Here we go. Save it and run it. Type here. I'll type in hello. Hello is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Length of your name is hello. Oh, I removed the length thing as well. Okay, so string, and then I'm going to put length in again. Like that. I removed the length thing earlier when I was adding string, but now it should be good. Now I'm going to do it one last time. It's all the way down here. I'm going to say hello. Hello is 5 characters long. The length of your name is 5. The only reason there's not a space there is because I didn't add it. But yeah, it would run properly. So yeah, good job with that one. So continuing on, let's go back to this example now. So let me see, what should we build? Let's build a simple, like, I guess, random game, honestly. So let's go like this. Let's go, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I'll go like this. Let's say they have to get an apple to win, or they have to get a gold star to win. So we're just going to mostly be messing with the random module today because I just want to show off, because this is one of the really nice ones you can use, especially for building games, because of course games have random features in them, right? Not everything in games like pre-scripted. It's random because, yeah, it just adds like an aspect to the game. So gold star, you have to get a gold star to win. And then the other things are going to be a pear, a rock. Let's also say, what else should we say? Let's also say one last thing. I'm trying to put like items that are the opposite of a gold star. Let's just say trash. Okay, so let's say those are the items in our list right now. So let me explain the game first of all. So here's what I want to happen. I want the user to basically be first given a certain amount of coins to start off with, and I guess it'll work like a casino. So they have to use a certain amount of coins to play a match. After they use those coins, they get to spin. Basically, they spin. If they get gold star, they get all of their coins. They get all the coins they use back, I guess. Let's say plus 50 more. If they get a rock, they get nothing. Or actually, if they get a rock, let's say they get 10 points back. If they get trash, they get, let's say, what? If they get trash, let's say they get nothing and they lose their money. And if they get pear, they, if they get pear, they get 20 points, okay? So let's try building this simply. I might have not been such a great explanation, but I'm going to try building it. This is kind of off of my mind. So let's say the starting amount that the player is going to have. So starting amount, actually no, let's just call it money. Money equals 500, okay? They have 500 bucks to start off with. So then we'll have an input. So I'll print out to them, would you like to spin? Question mark. And then we're gonna have an input. So A is gonna be equal to input. And then I'll say, I'll just say type here. Sorry, I didn't plan this, so I'm getting kind of off the top of my head, but I think this is gonna be a good example. So I'll say type here, and of course now I wanna check to see what their answer is. So I'll just say if A, this is using the if statements we learned. So if A, I'm gonna do 2 up here. I'm gonna use me see. I'm going to use a chained conditional, I believe. So I'm going to say if A is equal to the word Y, or A is equal to the word yes. So now it's checking for two. So if they say if they just type in Y or they type in yes completely, then the game will start. And down here, I'll say elif A equal N, or A equal no. I'll say print goodbye. Like that. So once again, any questions about anything we're doing, even if it's stuff from last camps that we did with the if statements or loops, you can put them in chat. So anyways, if the player says yes, we're going to take out some money from their account. So they start off with 500 to begin with, and then we're going to take out money, and then I'll say, let's do money, and we're going to take away something from it, right? So I can do this symbol, or I can do money equals money minus, how much did I say we'll take away? We'll take away 100 each time they play. So I'll just, to be more etiquette with it, I'll just do money minus. Because remember, we can do plus to add, we can do minus to subtract. So we're taking away $100 from the money first. And then after that, let's say, what else do we need to do in the game? What's a component of the game? So we're taking away money, and then they get to spin, right? So yeah, okay, I guess we'll just spin. So I guess just to make it spin, we literally just have to add the random thing now. So it's going to pull out something from cart. So let's just say cart already exists to begin with. Let's put cart all the way up here as well. We don't need it down here, because if it's down here, it won't be read until later and we'll get an error thrown. So let's put it up here. Also, I'm going to just import the rand int. So I'm going to say from, just so we don't have to see random.random each time. So I'll just say from random import rand int, like that. So we're subtracting money, and then now what we want to do is that we want to grab something out of this. So first, I guess let's set some values. So there's multiple ways I think I can do this. I think one way I'm just going to do is I'll just say if cart equals 0, print blah blah blah. If cart equals 1, which is gold star, do blah blah blah. So I subtracted money. Now let's spin. So first of all, let's assign it to the value of result. So result is going to be equal to cart. Why would you use? Oh yeah, we haven't seen. Actually, no, we have seen this symbol, I believe. I'm just gonna go down. I just saw your question right now. I know you probably typed it earlier, but I think there's a delay in the chat. But anyways, so we remember these couple of symbols, right? We have this one. We have this one, we have this one, and then we have, let's just leave it at this one for now. So remember, this one was to add on top of something. I think somebody answered your question in chat last time. They basically said this one's equivalent to saying the variable plus something. So I'll just do an example down here. If I say, let's say we had a variable a, and I said a was equal to 1, and I wanted to add 1 to a, what I would do was either this, like that, which is saying plus 1 to a. So now a is going to be equal to 2. Or I would say a equals a plus 1, like that. So both of these two right here, these are saying the exact same thing. So this is adding 1 on top of a because that symbol's doing it. And then this one's also adding 1 on top of a because it's taking a, the variable, which already exists up here, and it's doing plus 1, and it's updating the value of a to that again. So a is just getting updated with plus 1 up here, and a is also getting updated up here. So it's pretty much the exact same opposite with the minus symbol. So the minus is doing this. So if we want to take away 1 from a, so a goes to 0, the variable a goes down to 0, I can do a minus 1 like that, or I can do a equals a minus 1 to just update a completely. So a over here, the a we take over here is the original value of a, and then we're subtracting 1 from it, and then we're updating that to a again, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense, because there's a lot of me saying a here. So yeah, I think that makes sense. So it's pretty much just subtracting instead of adding. So yeah, anyways, what's going on here is we're subtracting $100 from money, and money already exists up here, which is 500. So result is equal to cart, and let's say, oh yeah, I never switched that solution for the last problem we had where we wanted it to just automatically know how many items we grabbed. Well, this is what it's going to look like anyways. So it's rand it. I can say rand it now because I'm just importing it exactly from, so I'm using from here. So I can say rand it. Do I want to say rand it yet? Let me think. Oh yeah, I'm going to say rand it, and we pass 2 arguments to it, which are integers. So the first one, I'll say 0, and then the last one, I'm going to say length of cart. So saying length of cart will make it so that it sees the length of cart, it grabs the integer. So in this case, length actually counts the number of items. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is basically saying the number 4 here. But the good thing about this, instead of writing 4, is that if we add one more like this, whatever, this will update to be 5 now. So that's why we're using length here. So if you have a question about this or this isn't too clear and you want me to explain it again, you can put that in chat. Otherwise, you can just say, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, anyways, this is what we're going to do. So it's going to pull a random number from cart, or it's going to pull a random thing from color. And now I can check to see what result is equal to. So with that, I can just put a bunch more if statements. I can say if cart equals, or I can say, sorry, if cart, or sorry, no, if result equals cart I can say 0 here. So if result equals pair, that's basically what this is saying. Then it's going to do whatever I want here. So in this case, for pair, let's say they win, let's add money. So in case of pair, they only win, let's say they win 30 back. So I'm just going to do plus equals 30. I want to test something actually. What I want to test right now, I'll show you what I'm thinking. Because instead of having to do this, instead of saying if result equals cart 0, I actually don't know the answer to this problem myself. I want to just test to see if something works. I want to see if I can just call on this variable itself. Let me actually see if what I'm saying makes sense. I want to say if result equals cart 0. You know, maybe this is the way to do it. Hold on. I had an idea on something I wanted to try, but I forgot. Okay, I guess we'll just continue on. Money plus 30 if they get pair. I'll say result now. Let's say, actually, let's just honestly leave that one. Look at chat. I was going to try something, but I'm not remembering what I want to try because I want to see if that would also work. That's another way to do what we're about to do. But anyways, okay, I have a question. Is that also about operator? Yeah, I believe that's also about operator. What this person asked was this. So pretty much what this would be saying as well, like this, is that that's also just saying, let's say we had A equal to 1 again. That'd also be the same thing as saying A equals A times whatever we're saying here. So A times 2. So I think if I also go like this, I think it's accomplishing the same goal as this. And I think it also works as well as with this vision, but yeah. So yeah, what we're gonna do here is this. I'm just checking right now to see if results equal to any of these items in cart. So I'm saying cart 0, cart 1, cart 2, cart 3. That's pretty much what I'm checking right now. So I think there are multiple ways I can go about doing this. The first way is to just simply do it for each cart. So I'm saying if result equals cart 0, which is pair, it's going to do gold star. If it equals rock, do whatever. If it does trash, do whatever, right? But I think another way I can get it to check is if I put the check in something like a for loop. If I put the check in a for loop, I can just get it so this for loop keeps adding 1 to this number, and then it checks again and again and again. And honestly, maybe we'll try that if we have enough time at the end. That's going to be a little bit more complicated, but we can still do it with what we know. So anyways, let's just do it this basic way first, and then we'll update it afterwards, I think. So if result equals cart 0, which is pair, it's going to add 30, okay? Now I'm going to do elif. I'm just going to actually keep copying and pasting it. Yeah, let's write it again one last time for elif, and then we're going to start copying and pasting it. So elif cart result equals cart cart1 is going to print cart1 is gold star, so it's going to print you win a gold, I'll say you won a gold star. Yeah, we'll say you won a gold star, and then for this one, I also need to say something for each one, right? In this case, I'll say you won a pair. And if I even want to, I don't actually have to even type this out. I can make the program dynamic by simply getting it to print out cart 0 or whatever they want exactly, right? So what I'm going to do here, actually, just to set a good example, is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to say print cart 0. 1 second. My enter button acts weird, so I have to pull it out after if I press on it weirdly. But anyways, you win a, and then I'll do cart 0. And cart 0 is in string already, so I don't have to put it around anything. For this one, it's going to be cart 1. Cart 1 like this. So let's see, this one, this 2, let's do a couple more times. Once again, there's probably a better way to do it than write it for each one, because we might have more prizes in this in general. But let's just do it. This is one of the simpler ways if you don't know too much about Python, I believe. Or maybe if you're not if you don't know too much. But if you're just using like the basic knowledge that we've learned so far, yeah, you can do it like this. So this cart 1, cart 2 now, cart 3 now. Let's see, would you like to spin? Type here. If they say yes, take away $100 from their account, first of all. Then you're going to go spin for them. So this is basically spinning for them. We save it to the value of result. Then we're checking now to see what happens with the result. So if result equals cart 0, we're going to say you win a whatever cart 0 is. And they're going to add $30 to their account. I'm saying 30 because I know cart 0 is pair. For gold star, we're going to add 2 times to their account. So gold star is the second one. And then I'll say I'll do money plus gold star is the biggest prize, so I'll just honestly say money plus 200. And then if they say cart, this is supposed to be updated as well. This should be cart 2 and cart 3. If they said cart 2 now, cart 2 looks like it's rock. They are going to win nothing. You win nothing this time. You win nothing. elif, the result is cart 3 now. Cart 3 is trash. Honestly, cart 3, they will lose money. You lose. Actually, no, I'll just say you won trash. You lose. Yeah, I'll just keep it as you won trash. You won. What's that? That works. This one says, no, actually, no, they won a rock. Right? We'll give them the rock. I'm fixing this program. You won a rock. I think that was cart 2 like that. So you won a rock. If they get a rock, if they get a trash, it says you won in trash, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. That works. So what I'm going to do briefly at the beginning now, if we're actually to try to be serious and show this to like our parents or something, or maybe your friend, we would go something like this. I'm probably just at the beginning going to put like a list of the possible winnings. So first of all, if you put 3 quotations, you can put things on multiple lines in your print like this. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'll say, what was I going to say? I'll say, here are the values. I'm going to say rock equals, what does rock equal? Rock equals, what does rock equal? Rock equals nothing. Or no, we're going to say they lose something, right? Rock equals negative 100. So they lose 100. I'm trying to think of the other values. Pair equals 30. You see the other ones. Let me see, where's the other items on the, oh, the list is right up here. Okay, we had trash as well. Actually, trash should equal negative, right? Rock should give you 10 back because you're losing no matter what, I guess. Okay, yeah, rock will equal nothing. Rock equals 0. Trash equals 0. Pair equals 30. Gold star equals 200, right? Let's make sure this actually applies with what's happening here. Yeah, pair is 230. Cart 2 is gold star is 200. Whatever it's called. I think 2 is, let me zoom out a bit so I can actually read this better. Can I zoom out like this? No, okay, I'm just gonna go like this then. 2 is 0, 1, 2, rock, and 2 is, we haven't said what they win yet. So we're going to add money to 2, which is 0. I'm trying to think about how the game's gonna work. I'm thinking of this off the bat, so I don't really know what's happening. So it looks like for trash and rock, they won't win anything, okay? They're not getting any money. And I'll just also print sad faces for these guys as well. Like somebody said in chat. So yeah, I'll explain that 3 quotation thing afterwards again. But pretty much that's just for if you want to write things on multiple lines. Because if I go like this, it'll look strange like this, as you see. So simply if I just want to write on multiple lines for my print function, I'll just do 3 on each one. I didn't explain that, but yeah, so it looks like that. So sad face. Okay, I think this is how that guy wrote it. Now copy and print down here as well. Like that. Let me make sure that closes. Oh, I didn't put it in a string. There we go. Also, I'll just go like this. I think that should have a space. Let's go like that. No, let's go. Okay, yeah, let's just do the basic one I already saw. Like that, sure. Add it back over here. And yeah, so let's review our code and make sure everything's good. First of all, what I already know is that we're gonna need a while loop definitely because money needs to exist. And if we run the program once, it's gonna take away the money and it's gonna end. So also what I was thinking to do is that for yes or no, when they first get asked if they want to play or not, what we should also do is just add one more option. So if they enter in, if the user decides to enter in balance, they'll see how much money they have remaining. So if A equals yes, and then I also have something down here saying if they say no, I'm going to add one more elif. It's going all the way out here because it's for the original if statement. I'm going to run one more elif that says if A equals B or A equals balance, like that. So if A equals balance, it's going to print money, right? Because money is the amount of money they have. And yeah, I think that looks all right. So let's run this now and we'll add the while loop afterwards. So let's see what happens. Actually, we won't even be able to look at the balance right now. So let's just add a basic for loop right now just to see if this even works. So I'll just say for, let's say it'll run 3 times total. For I in range 3. Remember, range is just a simple way to get a number out of it. And now I want to indent this all one in. Looks like that. So now it's going to, this also needs to be inside it. Like that. And I think everything looks good. So let's try running this and see the output. So would you like to spin? Here are the values. A gold star equals 200, a rock equals 0, a pear equals 30, trash equals 0. So of course I could write this a lot better. Maybe I will. I'll try to improve it a little bit. So first of all, that's on its own line, that's on its own line. Maybe would you like to spin? Here are the values of your possible winnings. And I'll say, would you like to spin? Let's put that inside here as well, honestly. So that will run each time we run the loop. Let's just remove it from here for now as well. And hopefully this looks a little bit nicer. So I'll say that, push this over here. So here are the values of your possible winnings. A gold star is 200. So we get 200 if we win. A pair equals 30 and trash equals 0. So one more thing I want to add before I do this is I also want to add it so it tells you that you lose 100. So I'll just say print, because remember right at the beginning of the code, after they say yes, we already take away 100. So even if they don't spin, they have to spin, but yeah, we take away 100. So I'm gonna say it costs 100 coins to spin, period. You have 500 coins. And the reason I can actually say 500 as a number is because this isn't in our for loop. So when they first run the thing, it's always going to say 500. So I think that's good. Now let's run this. Drag this over here. So here are the values of your possible winnings. Gold star 2, we already read that. It costs 100 coins to spin. You have 500 coins. Would you like to spin? I'm going to say yes, I would like to. Or let's actually check our balance first. Balance. My balance is 500. We can see that happened. And so we actually do have the amount of money it told us I have. Of course, once again, if this was like a serious program, I'd probably try to make everything look a lot nicer. And I'd probably like, after they type in B, it says your balance is ball. I'll show the possible commands they can enter in. But yeah, 500 is your balance. Would you like to spin? I'll say, yes, I'd like to spin. So let's see, we have an error here. Index out of range. Okay, and the reason our index is out of range, I can explain that right now. I forgot to do something last thing. But simply if I add a -1 here, I believe, if I go length of cart -1, it'll work. Because the reason our index is out of range, because the length itself, it actually counts properly. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And Python counts 1 or 0, 1, 2, 3. So when length counted 4, it was doing it in 4. And Python was like, this doesn't go up to 4. So what I just need to do is -1 like that. And then whatever length says, we'll take away 1 and it'll be 3. So in this case, length will read trash as 4. But then since we know we want to do it with Python, we want Python to count in our list, we're going to subtract 1 from whatever length says to make it 3. And then that will be equivalent to what Python says, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't think the comma is what caused it. I think I can have that comma there. But yeah, I can remove it. So yeah, I'll remove it and run just to see. Maybe I'm pretty sure I'm correct, but we'll run it anyways. So would you like to spin? Type here, yes. Oh, you won trash. Let me restart this program. Kill program, yes. Now let's run it. So you have 500 coins. Would you like to spin? I'll say, what's my balance first? My balance is 500. I'll say yes. Huh. Looks like, oh no, I did add the -1. Okay, I ended up adding the -1. I was checking to see if what the person said in the comments was correct, but I did end up adding the -1 because I was like, it was working. But anyways, to show you what I'm trying to say one last time, if I remove this -1 here and we save it like this, so this is without the comment, that doesn't really matter too much, but if I run this, kill it like this, we get to type here. Let's look at our balance like always. We have 500 balance. 1 second, that button fell. I need a new keyboard, I think. 1 second. Okay, so I have 500 balance. I say, yes, I want to spin. We get an error. So list index out of range. And that automatically tells us what we're searching for is not even in the range of the list. So it's specifically going at this length part, or because we're saying or sorry, it's looking at this cart part because we're saying inside of the cart, look for this. Because if I said inside the cart and then I said grab numbers item 7, I'm gonna get that same error because item 7 is out of the range of the list, right? It's going further. We only have 0, 1, 2, 3 if we count with Python. Length counts from 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm minusing 1, so I'm pretty much just gonna get the same number that Python will give me. So I'm gonna write -1 over here, and that will put it in the range within the cart. Because length actually counts the same way we do. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll count the list as 4 items, and trash will be seen as item 4. But we want it to be seen as item 3. And we want to, Python thinks it's item 3. So we're going to -1 from what length says. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't think I'm explaining that too well because it's a little bit tricky to explain. But yeah, so we're going to do, I said -3 here. We're doing -1. If I do -3, if it gets trash, it's going to grab 3 after that, so it's going to grab parent instead. So let's do -1, and then now let's run it. So here are the values of possible winnings. Sure, awesome. Would you like to spin? I'm just going to skip checking my balance this time. I'll do it one last time actually, and then we'll play. I'll say, yes, I want to spin. Okay, you won a rock. So I didn't add the spaces for any of this, but we can see what we got. We got a rock, sad face. Now I'm going to check my balance again. What's my balance? Say, what's my balance? My balance has actually changed. My balance went down to 400 after I got a rock, because remember, it costs 100 to spin each time. So each time the program starts, or each time the user says yes to spinning, they lose 100 automatically. So in this case, we won nothing because a rock is equal to nothing. So this program's working correctly, at least. The only thing I can change is the for loop. So the ways I can change this loop are in 2 ways. If I want to treat it like a casino in a popular video game, like I'm not going to name the video game, but if I want to treat it like a casino in another video game, what I can do is that I can make it so the user can only spend a certain amount of times in a day. Maybe that's for something to do with addictions. I don't want them to get addicted. So I have a limit on how many times I can spin. I can just go do something like a random number like that, and I can try to see how many times. This will actually only make it so they can enter and input a certain amount of times. But yeah, I'm trying to go a little bit faster. There are a lot of things we could do to make this program a lot more like final product, because it's not very final product right now. It just works normally. Another way I can make this loop is that I can make it so that the user has to type in no in order for the program to end. So it goes an infinite amount of times, and until user says no, the program does not end. So to do that, since we already have an elif here accepting if they say no, what I can do is that if the user says no, the program breaks. Otherwise, if they don't say no, it keeps going on forever and forever. So let's do it like this. So instead of for, I can literally just say while true. While true is just a shortcut if you don't want to have it set to a condition. While true just means it's a loop that's always going to go, and until you actually break it. So break is only if they say no, they don't want to spin. So let's try this. So I said this pretty fast, but let me try saying it again. While true is pretty much going to make it so that that loop keeps going and going and going. It's set to no condition. It's just literally, this will always be true until they break it. So you have no choice but to break the loop if you want to get out. And the only way you break the loop is by saying no. So let's try it. Run the program here, and let's try it as if this was the final product or we were testing it out. So here are the possible values of your winnings. If you get a gold star, you get 200. If you get a rock, you get nothing. If you get a pair, you get 30. If you get trash, you get nothing again. It costs 100 coins to spin. You have 500 coins. Would you like to spin? I'm going to say, let me actually make sure I have 500. Yeah, I have 500. I'll say, yeah, I want to spin. So I won a gold star. So one thing I can add first of all is I can add spaces to each of these. I can just go like that and it'll fix the problem. And then I can, yeah, let's just do that honestly. So it's better to read. Okay, so let's just say, yeah, balance, we have 500, yes again. So I spun, I said, yes, I want to spin. I got trash. So that's not good. I didn't win anything. So, and I lost 100 coins just from spinning. So let's see my balance. I have 400 now. I'm going to see if I can make some profit here. The only way I can actually do it. I can't really sweat this. I can only get lucky. But anyways, yeah, I want to spin again. So I won Trash the second time. Okay, not great. Balance is 300. I have to win this time if I want to come out. I need a gold star. I won a pair. I still went negative because I lost 70 total because it costs 100 to spin. Check my balance. I'm at 230. Let's hope we get a golden star. Yes, I want to spin. I got a rock again. I think I'm actually getting too low to even spin soon. I have 130. I think we're actually going to come across an error soon. I get a syntax error on the true. I think the reason you're getting a syntax error on the true is probably because you didn't put the capital T, because we're using the Boolean true. And if you remember Booleans, the true and false, they start with a capital T or a capital F. That's my immediate guess if you're having trouble doing the while true thing. And then the while, by the way, is not capital at all. The W in while is not capital. So that's what I'm guessing is going on. So anyways, I'm trying again. Would you like to spin? I said that's my balance, 130. Would I like to spin? How much do I have? I'll have 30 remaining right now if I don't win this. That's the most I can have. The most I can have remaining is 60 actually, but yeah, I want to spin. I won trash. So now I look at my balance, I have 30 remaining, so it looks like I've been losing. I'm getting too lucky. But the odds are against me to go make profit, right? Because the only way I make profit is if I get the golden star. If I want, I can easily go in the game and I can reduce it so that the cost it takes to spin is lessened. So literally right here, I have 100, money minus 100 at the start. I can make it so you only lose 10 if you start. I can make it whatever I want. I can make it a million to start, so you'll never have enough, right? If I want, I can change the starting amount of money I have. Or maybe I can even create a cheat code for my game. So while it's asking the user, would you like to spin? If I enter in cheat code or whatever the code I want it to be, whatever string I want, the user will get back $500. So there's just a lot we can do. And it's pretty cool when you like make your own game and you know the code behind it, because you can change a lot of things to make it however you want. You can make your own cheat codes. You can change the settings. You can make the difficulty a lot harder. This seems like a pretty hard way to win right now. I don't think you can win at all. Unless if you always get gold stars, I don't think you can actually go past 500. And yeah, so that's pretty much the basic program. So I hope I answered your question, by the way, about how you said you got a syntax error on true. Just make sure you have the T capitalized, and yeah. And also, something I didn't talk about too much, but we actually learned about this last camp, is that if they say no, the game breaks and ends. So let's actually just look at that quickly. Cancel. I don't think I made a change, did I? Oh yeah, I was messing around with that. That was at 1,000. Let's go like that. Let's run it. Let's say, no, I don't want to play. The program ends. So that loop ends, and that's because I have the break for it over here. So the camp's about to end. I said it was going to be a shorter camp. Looks like it was actually a longer camp. And I'm not sure if I covered everything I really wanted to today. Oh yeah, I didn't cover how we can create our own modules and import it. Yeah, you did, thanks. But now I'm getting an indentation error on my carts. I don't know. I have my cart, first of all. That cart is outside of my while loop. Here, I have some things that are outside of my while loop and things that are inside. The only things inside my while loop is when it asks, would you like to spin? And then everything that needs to happen after that. All this information on the cost or whatever, how much each thing is worth, and the amount of all the print statements, and then also my cart, and then also the amount of money the user has is outside of the while loop. If you have an indentation error on your cart, and if by cart you mean list because you also named it cart, just make sure you don't have any spaces at the beginning of it, I guess. But yeah, so this is something we built. And a game this is actually comparable to, if we can call this a game this is compared to code-wise is rock, paper, scissors. So originally I wanted to build rock, paper, scissors, but I thought we'd change it up. So pretty much I can give you an idea, and I recommend you actually try building rock, paper, scissors. Pretty much with rock, paper, scissors, it's almost like this really, except we don't have this many values, and we have rock, paper, and scissors in here, and then we're randomizing it so the computer pulls out one of this, and then the user also gets to choose one of this. So it's basically going against each other. There's a lot of if statements. So it's like if user said pair and out of cart, the randomizer thing pulled out rock, who wins? So it's a lot of if statements. But yeah, you can also build a rock, paper, scissors with this. Here are the values of the possible. Okay, yeah. So everything I hear looks correct. If you're getting an intent error, the only thing I can imagine is what's called what I can try maybe doing, if you're getting an indent error, I can maybe possibly put this in a Google Docs. I probably want to put this up on GitHub usually or something like that. But I can put it in a Google Docs. And I can make it so you just that Google Docs is shareable and you can open it up and look at the code yourself. So maybe I'll do that quickly right now on this display. So I'm just gonna put this code so it's available for you to access if you want to look at it. So let's me go like import. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this in a Google Docs for you so you can access it. Code or game. Sure, let's call it that. Say anyone with the link, copy the link, and then I'll put it in the streamer chat. Hopefully that link works. Indentation level error. Yeah, so unfortunately it's hard for me to look at right now because I can't see your screen, so I can't help you find the error. If it's indentation, that means something is indented out of something. So it could be possible it's an if statement. So actually something your error will tell you, so it'll tell you what line the error is on. Oh man, we're using this ID. I don't think you can see line numbers. I don't know how you can see line numbers with this, but it'll tell you what line it's on. And I think it'll also show a quote of like what's on that line so you can look at it. But yeah, that's the simplest way I can think of showing it to you right now. So if I just share the code for it, so you can go look at what I have. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So what we were also going to do today was, open this back up, put this here. What we're also going to do today was figure out how we can create our own modules and just import them into our own code. But we can do that next camp. It's actually really simple. We just want to create another file with all our Python functions within it. We're creating those functions, of course. And then what's it called? Then we're simply just putting in the same folder we have our script that we actually have our Python code in, like our game or whatever. And then we run those. I don't even know how to, I'm explaining kind of weirdly with words, but it's pretty simple, and we'll show at the beginning of next camp. To create your own module and import it to your own work is simple. So I think that's pretty much the end of today's camp. We covered all the main things. Once again, we wanted to learn how to create our own modules, but I got carried away with that thing we built. But yeah, that whole game, besides all of that, besides that just being, I guess, a fun activity, that's just to show you like how useful modules can be. So the random module is like one of the simplest modules out there, honestly, even though it could seem difficult or it could seem easy to you, but it really is a simple module. And it just shows how much it can spice up our work, right? We can already do a lot more now. And just being able to add something like random to our work, like a random aspect to our program, makes it a lot more interesting, in my opinion. That goes for every other module, especially other ones created by like the community, like like building bots, building artificial intelligence programs. You would use modules for that with Python. So I think like TensorFlow is one for that. We also do a course on Python games for learning how to build games with Python. And that course, they use Pygame, I believe, the module Pygame. There's just so much to learn within a module to do something. You build a whole program out of modules. So yeah, this was just a simple example of looking at a module, the random module. And yeah, so hopefully everything was clear. So yeah, you said you're getting an indentation error. Honestly, I think you'd really just have to carefully look to make sure something is not indented in. It could be possible that it's not indented in properly in your while loop, or it's not indented properly in your if statement. But yeah, you just have to look at that carefully. It's just simple syntax errors. Just simple ways you didn't write something correctly, or you accidentally maybe pressed an enter, or maybe you didn't press tab. But yeah, also make sure you have your colons as well for each end that needs a colon. But yeah, you can just copy and paste my code, and I think it'll work. I'll try myself to make sure if copying and pasting my code lets the program work. And then we're gonna end the camp there. So let's see, if I go like this, I think, okay, yeah, so it looks like if I copy and paste it, it works. So I'll run it, and yeah, so we I want trash. I keep winning trash a lot. Oh, I want a gold star. I just want a gold star after in my second time. Okay, let's see my balance. Okay, so that put me back up to 500. So you can only make 100 profit if you want a gold star. Okay, so yeah, I recommend you try playing around with this, or maybe try building rock, paper, scissors, because that's another game that works with this. Or with what we've learned so far, it's not going to be this exact same structure, but it'll require most of the stuff we learned so far, and nothing really additional, I don't think, because it pretty much just relies on the random aspect of the game, and from there you can do the rest. So I recommend you try building something. Try building like rock, paper, scissors, or another game that you think you can do. Or maybe try rebuilding this or looking over this. And yeah, so hopefully everything made sense this camp. Hopefully there are no more questions. And I also hope to see you guys next time as well. So thank you for joining me for this camp. Once again, for the guy who's having the problem with the indentation level, I can't really help you with that because I'd have to like see your screen so we can look through it carefully. But yeah, just look through it carefully or just look at the doc I put in chat and copy and paste that one since you probably did everything else correct. But yeah, I'll see you guys next camp and thank you for joining me. And my name is Adere. Bye.